Hello, and welcome to a very special, very somber, probably at some points very hilarious edition of Main Road Ramble. I'm Andrew Detmer. I'm joined by my usual compatriot, Joe Ritchie. Joe, how are you?
Just a shade of emotions. I'm all over the place, man. I want to cry. You talk about laughing. I don't know if I'll be able to. I'm just an absolute mess. But I'm thrilled to be joined by two great people to help that today.
And then beneath me, if you're watching this live, if you're not watching it live, what are you doing? Follow us on all of our socials at Main Road Ramble, and you'll know when we go live. But I have Mulv off Nosy Pod and Joey off Noisy Pod and TalkSport.
Shout out.
Boys, how are you?
Good. Thank you for having us. Yeah. This is nice. How are you guys?
I mean, I'm worried that we're gonna need to send someone to do a wellness check on Richie over here, but I'm relatively okay.
Check on your Argentine friends today.
Yeah. Shouts to all of the grill masters.
Yeah.
I'm heartbroken. I am currently stuffing my face with Jaffa cakes.
Ooh, good choice.
I've got a Whisper, and a very famous prawn cocktail. So a bit of
Joey off Noisy Pod and TalkSport. Do you have a question?
Yeah, I don't like that Mulv is using Aguero leaving as some sort of excuse that this is new behavior.
Fair point.
You come on this show, we're gonna be serious. Damn it.
New behavior or not, I'll let it slide, Mulv. I think it's warranted. Eat whatever the hell you want.
The one question I have
Enabler.
is, Mulv, did you just have a shipment already on its way and it just coincided? Do you have a supply of British?
We have a local shop called the British Emporium, and whenever any holidays approach, particularly Christmas and Easter, we go and we buy one of everything from that place. And it's obviously loads of chocolates and crisps and just stuff that's nostalgic for me. Stuff I would get when I was a kid. Stuff that you can get from your local Spar when you go over to Manchester. But yeah, and the kids love it. Wife and kids love it. So yeah.
What's
yesterday
a prawn
we stocked up for Easter.
You don't know prawn cocktail?
Shrimps,
man.
I know
shrimps. Shrimp flavored chips.
Haven't you ever thought, I wish these potatoes tasted like shrimp?
all the time.
Thanks to the English, now they can.
If you go to any American grocery store and look at the absolute disgusting flavors of chips available to Americans, I don't think we can judge about shrimp flavored chips.
I'll judge whoever I want. That's gross is gross.
As much fun as we're having, let's go ahead and get into what kind of derailed our agenda, our afternoons. I was in the middle of trying to finish up some very serious work, and then I see a tweet from Jack Cahan that says, Manchester City and Aguero will part ways at the end of the season. And I was like, oh, I mean, he's reputable. Seems like, that's news. And so I send it to them. And then I see the tweet right below it was from the club announcing the news, because initially I just thought it was hey, here's my breaking news, story about this. But in reality, it was announced today. So I don't know how you guys is this a moment you're going to remember where you were, much like you remember where you were when he scored the 93-20 goal? How are you dealing with these emotions?
I don't know. My answer is going to be very lame, probably compared to everybody else. I'm not really bothered by it right now. We haven't seen him for 18 months, really, a bunch. It's felt like he's kind of been gone for a while. End of the season, much different. Right now, he's still here. He's not gone yet. Hopefully he's healthy enough that he can contribute towards the end of the season, for the next month and a half. But right now, I'm just not very heartbroken about it, because it's just this weird thing of where he hasn't been here for a while. So it feels kind of just whatever. Now, if he goes on the pitch at the end of the season and a mic goes in his hand and he starts speaking English, and saying like, I love you, I miss you. Here's Benjamin. I'll cry like a baby. But right now, I'm pretty okay because there's still some fun stuff he could do.
My buddy texted me and he was like, "How are you feeling?" And I was like, "Fan wise, I'm broken. Like I'm a glass case for emotions. But like from a club perspective, it's the right decision. Like it's ultimately the right decision. And I think that's where certain fans differ. I think a lot of people are saying, it's become too much of a business, and you need to show loyalty to club legends, which by all means they're doing. They basically gave him the chance to stay, if you believe some of the reports, but it felt like it was coming. I'm just surprised that it was announced today. I can believe that they met today and made the decision today. I just don't know why it's not like a new manager, right? Like when Pep came in, I understood that because it was such a change, but why do you need to announce that Aguero's leaving today? I don't know. That kind of side, hit me a little different, but that's just me.
I would imagine, just from thinking of it from like the legal business perspective, they probably did meet over the international break, and it was probably, they said, we're going to meet during this international break and we're going to figure out like what the plan is. I imagine the club and Aguero maybe both said we could wait a little bit and like we could decide this at the end of the season. But my guess is Aguero also wants time to figure out what his next team is going to be and have time to weigh his options. And the club also obviously wants to know what they're going to need to do in the transfer market. And my guess is once they just kind of realized that neither side was going to be happy with a holding pattern, they probably said it's for the best based on what Joey kind of talked about of what the 18 months have been. And also to make sure that Aguero and City got to tell the story how they wanted it to be told, rather than if that news leaks and Jack Cahan just, had found out about it and tweets it, then that's going to gather steam and like distract from the rest of the season. Whereas like, I kind of wish they hadn't said anything similar to with Company, but I also understand like there's been a lot of media speculation about Aguero. And so if you do this now, you let him have a send off that doesn't detract from everything else.
I fear I'm the most devastated of the bunch. I'm not doing well at all. As a father of a young man who, I wanted to have good, idols. I wanted to have him to have, good role models. We've invested quite a bit in Sergio Aguero over the last decade, both me and my son. His room is covered in Sergio Aguero memorabilia, what have you. He has been his hero, his icon, and he and I have spent hours enjoying the fact that this player came to our favorite club, to the club that is part of my family's history, a club that hasn't had many legends in my lifetime. And what I've come to realize today is that while I tried to find my son a hero, I actually found myself one. And Sergio Aguero is my hero, is what I'm realizing. And so I feel fucking terrible. And heartbroken, and I woke up from a nap to the news, and it was quite shocking. Yeah.
That's like the opposite of when I woke up at 3:00 in the morning to see that Cass had ruled against UEFA, and it was wonderful. Like that, it's literally the opposite.
Yeah. Like, I don't know what caused Adele to write her first album, or what caused Alanis Morissette to write Jagged Little Pill. But I feel like if I got my guitar out right now, that I'd be a fucking superstar. Because I could write a double album on Sergio Aguero, and
you are basically the English Adele.
Yeah.
I'm gonna leave that comment alone.
Oh, you talking about my voice?
Yeah.
Probably meaning my voice.
Yeah. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
Glasses too. And she wears glasses.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm gutted, lads.
So do you? We have a ton of stuff to get to. I'm sorry. Do you? It's sad and everything, but like, do you get it? Like, does it make
absolutely,
sense?
absolutely.
Okay,
but that's
cool.
for tomorrow for me.
Okay,
That's
cool.
for tomorrow.
because there's going to be so many people online that are like, this is ridiculous. But it's like, is it though?
Oh, Joey,
No.
do you mean like this?
Yeah, that'd be one. That's one good. This here.
That's Kidback's Gamer. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. You're a crazy person.
So what
is there any sarcasm in that? Because I think
also is there are we sure that City never offered Aguero a contract?
Right. Exactly. Right.
Because I'm sure there was talks back and forth, but at some point the club had to have gotten to a point where, say in January, we're like, all right, well, it's been a year. He's still not healthy. Pep's even like, I don't know. Some days he's cool, some days he's not. I don't know what's going on with his legs. And then, like, now he still doesn't fit in. I don't know. I think it just got to a point where the club is like, you know what? We all know the names that are out there on the horizon. You know, there's a big blonde man who's very angry at the ball and the goal all the time.
Holmgren.
He hates the goal not having a ball in it. And I don't think you can, if City are serious about doing what they're talking about doing, I don't think you can bring a guy like that in and have him play like second fiddle to Aguero, and especially when you don't know what version of Aguero it's going to be. So it's a business decision, and it's kind of, you know, icky and all that. But at the end of the day, I think it's probably right for us. It's probably right for him because he can go wherever he wants in the world now.
I mean, if he wants to go play with Messi, who probably is staying at Barca now, he can go do that.
Yeah, or they can both go to Miami.
Ooh, that'd be fun. That'd be real
fun.
fun.
I mean, he got his 10 years. And we're also probably not going to dive too much into it, but the end of the season could be a pretty special season. Like he could very well go out with the best season.
The story. That's a story that could be written still.
It's already written though. It's already written. He is going to have the Premier League trophy over his little Argentine, beautiful little head in May.
Yeah. Wait, are they going to let him lift the trophy? Because I don't think it'll get into the camera shot if he's the one.
I don't like where this is going.
It'll either be him by himself, or be I've got a feeling he and Fernandinho will lift it together.
Yeah.
But God,
if they both go.
Jeez. I can only shed so many tears in the day.
No, but to your question, Joey, to me about do I get it? Of course I do. And as time passes for the rest of this evening and tomorrow, you know, it'll be like looking back at fond memories, really.
Yeah.
But also you're right. We do have a few months here where anything could happen for this guy.
There is a very cool thing that could happen that involves it's a trophy that kind of is like that kind of thing. I mentioned it in the Discord. All I want to see is Champions League final against I don't care who. Aguero receives the ball at the edge of the box, takes about 4 touches horizontally across the top of the box. No one closes him down for some reason, and then he just hits the piss out of it into the bottom corner. And then City hold on to the ball for 85 more minutes and just crap on the other team. I think that would be the funniest way to go out of, like, Aguero does an Aguero thing early on and then just gets to be a pest for the rest of the time.
The last thing before we move on to what we were supposed to talk about tonight. So obviously that this now means that there are 2 Manchester City legends, both of whom have had statues already confirmed, that have not yet had their testimonial. Would you want to see a combined testimonial of Team Silva versus Team Aguero, or do you want them both to have their own moment?
I like that idea.
Because the thing I want to see is it's Team Silva, Team Aguero, right? And you bring back all the legends from like their era. You bring back some other cool people, but you don't announce the teams. And then just Silva and Aguero walk out, and then it's like high school gym class, and they just start picking guys.
That would be actually pretty funny.
That's a great idea, Andrew. Well done.
Yeah.
I also feel like
I
those
could
are
get
two
down
players
with
who wouldn't want the spotlight on them, like Silva in particular. Like I think if you give him the chance, like you guys can split it. Not everything's going to be on you. Go for it. Like,
David's like, can you just bring me on as like a? Can I come on as a sub, like late in the match? I don't want to be. I don't need to be at the beginning of this whole thing.
Can I just coach this? Like,
yeah.
Like me in intramural sports.
Bingo.
Xbox headset on, like, let's go.
I was talking to some of my friends earlier, and I was like, you look back at the team that won the league, and the first time, you know, so you got Aguero will be the last one to go, and I just think of so say they would have announced way early in the season that like Yaya was leaving or that Zabaleta was leaving. I think that was even towards the end. Like Micah's thing was a little bit weird, but at the end of the day, like those guys are still just bigger than kicking a ball around. Like when Yaya, like I can vividly remember the goodbye speeches. Like Yaya standing there. There's all these nice people. Colo walks out. Tears. There you go. See you. Crying now. Pablo starts talking. Done immediately for that. Then he like brings it. My baby boy, he is a mank. And I'm like, oh, you son of a bitch. Your baby boy is a mank, Pablo. You're right. You're so right. Vinny just basically giving the speech of a statesman. 10 out of 10. Very on brand. Loved it. Tears again. So I think we have a chance with Kun, even if it's like through the interpreter guy. I don't care. Like just him being able to, because they are saying that there might be some people back in the stadium towards the end. If some people are back in the stadium at the end of all this, and some people get to like, we can actually do this somewhat right, where Kun doesn't just like walk off an empty stadium. Like there's actually people there to be like, hell yeah, dude. I think that would be, we'll take it. You know, it's better than nothing. I also have
to imagine the club is going to put out something like they did with Company of kind of like a behind the scenes look.
Yeah.
Because I have to imagine like there are got like think of Phil Foden, who has talked about how as a City fan playing with Aguero and David Silva and Fernandinho and Company has meant so much to him. Like the things that like, and there are other guys who clearly like get it. Like John Stones is a guy who, when he's talked in the past, like he understands like the culture of the club and he understands like who Aguero is. I feel like there's going to be some really cool moments of those guys. You know, if let's say at the end of all of this, we get the moment we're kind of all hinting towards and saying like, this could be really cool. Imagine the speech that Fernandinho or Pep Guardiola is going to give about like, you know, do this for Sergio, like for Aguero, like do this for a man who has done so much for this club.
Yeah.
Like I'm getting chills just thinking about like the story that could be told.
Somebody call up Amazon. We need a camera in the locker room. You must play with balls for Sergio.
That's a really good Pep impression.
Thanks.
How often are you doing that in the mirror to yourself?
Never. Still holding on to Mancini and Kolarov.
Man's got skills. With the impressions.
So to move to something that maybe is a little more lighthearted and a little more, upbeat for us. So this was supposed to be the other guys where we just kind of talk about what else is going on in the league. Generally, we did a show a couple months ago and kind of did our mid-season awards and who we liked, who we didn't like based on what's going on. I would say that not tons has changed since then, but at the time we weren't sure if we were going to have a relegation fight. We definitely have a relegation fight now. So let's start.
Not us.
So let's start there. I think we all agree that West Brom and Sheffield are gone, right? Like nobody's going to claim that one of them is escaping.
Dead in the water.
No, and that's a real shame because I've come to really love West Brom because we smack them guaranteed twice.
Like, where is he going with this?
I had no idea what you were talking about.
They also famously beat Manchester United in the Centurion season.
I thought you had just turned into a big Hal Robson Kanu guy.
Thank you, Javi. Was it Javi? Who was it? Hernandez? Javi Martinez. There we go.
Yeah.
Who had
guy
the
who
goal
scored
against
the header?
United.
Jay Rodriguez.
Jay Rodriguez. There we go.
Yeah,
Not Javi.
Yep. And they also will occasionally take points off one of our rivals, which I love. So yeah, really sad to see the back of West Brom, but you're right. They are.
I mean, my stance on them is how do you fire a manager who just took points off of Manchester City and then replace him with who they're like? They deserve every bad thing that happens to them.
Yeah.
For sacking Bilic and being like, you know who will solve this problem?
Yeah.
Sam Allardyce.
Yeah.
Will this be the first time Allardyce didn't stay up?
I mean, if you want to go with like the bullshit version of like he wasn't the manager when they went down, so he's not the reason they went down.
Okay.
Yeah, sacked before they go down. Yeah.
Yeah.
You can't fire me, I quit.
So that leaves us with Newcastle, Brighton, Fulham, and Burnley all in a scrap. Now, what I want to hear from everybody, who do you think is the third team to go down? But then also, who do you want to be the third team to go down?
Well, I mean, we can all agree it's Liverpool, right?
Hell yeah. Hey,
I don't think.
Do we have to pick from that list, or?
Yeah.
I know they've been absolutely terrible. I don't think those other four teams are going to catch them.
Okay. So realistically.
Bold statement.
Realistically, who do you want it to be, but then who do you think it'll be?
I feel like I want it to be Burnley.
Ooh.
But I also like I know it's not going to be Brighton because I'm too much of a stats junkie to ever think that somehow they're just not going to stay up. I just don't like Burnley or Newcastle at all, and I would think I'm not alone in that. I think it's gonna be Fulham though. I think everyone's like associating them too much with Brighton, where they're like, "Ooh, they're kind of like turning a corner and things are getting better." Scott Parker, nice jackets. It's like, it only gets you so far. I don't think that they're going to be able to figure it out enough, both in attack and in defense, to stay up.
They're 2 points back, right? Just for anyone wondering, they're 2 points back, but Newcastle has a game in hand.
Yeah.
This is like, what do you value in teams that you don't support?
Right? Yeah. Attractive play and a good-looking manager that dresses well.
Mine's going to come down to a personal grudge with True Geordie, probably.
True.
That dude's a loser.
Yeah.
Are you guys beefing? Did man start Biff?
You and I have similar reasons for wanting Newcastle to go down. It's just with different people. I just hate Mike Ashley. I want that man to suffer, because if that asset is not worth as much, he might actually have to sell it.
Yeah.
And then the poor people of Newcastle could maybe get a fancy, new owner, maybe from the Middle East, maybe also from the Emirates. And then my dream of having an Abu Dhabi could happen.
Yeah. There you go. I think Mul's just hoping that if Newcastle gets bought, there's an escalator installed.
Yeah, true.
That stadium is.
One day you lads will do that trek up them stairs, and it's madness.
It's the same as going to Kilimanjaro. I think it's the same height.
Higher.
Yeah, I've got Newcastle as everything to do with the manager.
Another reason to hate them.
Yeah. Steve Bruce plays a style that does not. I haven't watched a Newcastle game this year because who's in charge? There's no point. It's gonna be 5 at the back, and they're gonna sit there for a while, and then they get scored on, and the game ends. That's pretty much it. Also, Mike Ashley is the worst, so he can get out. I think Fulham stay up just because at least like them and Brighton at least give themselves a chance to be in matches. Now that can hurt, but at least they take a shot.
60% of the time, it works every time.
See, this is the kind of stats that's Noisy Pod stats right there. You guys talk about you throw all your fancy letters in, and you're doing algebra in terms of which goals are.
To be clear, it's Kevin that does the algebra. Joe and I just are like, oh, cool. Like
I was on FB Ref for like 5 minutes before we hopped on. I'm like, okay, just remember like 2 goals per 90. Just remember that, and I write it down.
Is Kevin the guy that sold Phil Foden?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. Nice.
No context. Don't give any context.
No, all I know is of the 5 people that have been referenced on this show, one sold Phil Foden.
And it's not me.
Mulv, could
Not
you?
me.
I like it.
Can't do it. Can't do it. Won't do it. On to the next.
He's gonna love that. He's gonna love that.
Sorry, mate.
On your own airwaves.
I will say that as much as I love Graham Potter and think that like they're just crazy unlucky, there is a small part of me that fears for Brighton.
Yeah,
They got
Going
the
down?
rags. They got the rags next game.
I think their biggest problem is Graham Potter leaving after this season, regardless
for
of what
sure.
league they're in, because somebody further up the table will come a sniffing.
You give that man actual strikers.
Yeah. Yeah. Give him like $40.
Yeah.
And then like, I'm going to go. I know I saw a guy.
Wolf Boney's still a free agent. Like I don't think we're asking for much for him. Just give him something. Like,
I don't think Jovetic is doing a ton at Monaco.
Wait, is he at Monaco?
I don't know. That's what I have one friend that's a big Jovetic guy, and that's what he put in the group chat earlier when he said the Aguero news got released, and he said, now you guys understand how I felt when Jovetic got sold.
Your friend needs therapy.
Yeah, for sure. 100%.
Okay, so top 4 picks.
Mm-hmm.
City obviously nailed on.
Yes.
Is
Seconded.
everybody a believer here?
100%.
Are you?
of top 4 or of the title?
Yeah, wait, top 4 or title race? Because if I get a City
no,
fan who isn't nailed on top 4,
Sorry, title.
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 Is it
I've been
finished?
since November.
Yeah.
I had.
Wait. November. You thought we'd already won it?
Yeah, me
No,
too. I had it.
Genuinely.
I had it in October actually. So
Okay, it's a bunch of Penelopes.
No, I'm not kidding. I could pull the Slack chats.
That's
We
a good
have a
reference.
handle on my percentage. I had City as the highest chance to win the odds, and I said
This was on a podcast.
Yeah, I said Liverpool were the only team that had a chance, but if they can't figure out their center back issues, they have no chance.
they did figure one thing out: break all of them. Turns out, wrong move. Not the way to do it.
Oh, you said turn right. We thought you said turn left.
I should have took that left at Albuquerque.
we're
Instead, we
winning it,
tore
Joe.
all of our ACLs.
We're winning
would-
it, Joe.
Gun to head, yes, but I haven't officially said it's over
Joseph,
Wow.
because I'm too superstitious.
come on, dude.
Okay. If we win it, will you do the song?
Maybe. If Italy win the Euros, I'll do the song.
Ave Maria.
Well, I thought we were talking about
That's Amore.
No, I'll
That's
just
where
do
I was
that
going.
whenever.
That's where
That's
I
like
was
2
going.
glasses of red wine, Joey, and I'll do that. So.
Hell yeah, boop it a boppy, dude.
So if we
What
all
a
agree top 4
reduction.
for City, do we all agree that United and Leicester are nailed on for top 4? Just to give you an idea of where they sit in the table. Everybody else in the top 4 right now is on 29 matches played. United has 57 points. Leicester has 56. Chelsea in 4th at 51.
Yeah,
I've got the top 4 staying just like
that's
that,
the top 4.
and maybe
Yeah.
I think Leicester and United will flip flop a few times on the way.
Oh, okay.
But I think at the
Yeah,
end,
I couldn't tell
it is
you
what it is.
who between those two finishes. I do think potentially with Chelsea having Champions League matches to worry about and the FA Cup semifinal against us to worry about, I think there's still an outsider's chance that West Ham could maybe sneak their way in.
West Ham, interesting.
Can I give you another thing that makes Chelsea's run in very sucky for them? May for Chelsea, Fulham, City, Arsenal, Leicester, and Villa, and that's all in the league. That's on top of they're still have Champions League and they'll be coming off the cup final. But you've got
rough.
Leicester, who's fighting to keep you below them. You've got Arsenal, who's just fighting for pride at that point. Villa's trying to at least be somewhere decent in the table. Fulham could be fighting for survival, and we're going to be, I don't know, just trying to make sure we look good when we
Tune-up matches.
try to eye
By
up.
contrast, too, West Ham's May is Burnley, Everton, Brighton, West Brom, and Southampton. So those are two completely contrasting ends to the season.
And it's the same with Leicester. So Leicester's final 3 matches are United, Chelsea, and Spurs.
Ooh. Damn.
So spots 3 and 4 could be a slugfest here at the end. I think United, I don't know. I think they'll get enough favorable results.
I think they have too many points already.
Yeah, they'll squeak by.
And I mean, looking at so Spurs are 1 point behind West Ham at 48 points, Liverpool at 46, Everton at 46.
I think Everton's my sneaky pick if it's not Chelsea, because they still have a game in hand. They're at 46 with game in hand.
Ooh, they're
only at 28 games.
Yeah.
Because no one let them know that the game was being postponed. So
yeah.
Shout out Ancelotti.
I can't believe you're ruling out Liverpool for relegation.
Yeah, it just seemed like he wrote that off like it was nothing. Yeah. We're doing all this discussion about all these other teams. We're
trying to be a serious podcast.
I mean,
are they safe?
If Fulham, let's see. So Liverpool has 46 points. Fulham has 26. They're 8 So technically, if they lose every game,
Fulham can even drop a game.
Fulham wins every game.
So
yes. So it
just feels like earlier. It just feels like earlier you were like, these guys are being dickheads. There's no way this is going to happen. But now, trust the math, dude. Trust the science.
Ooh, this Come is a on. Fun one. By they, I assume he means Liverpool. Do they make Europa?
I hope not.
Oh, I hope they do.
I really hope not, because I think it's even funnier.
What's Europa? What spots?
6 and 7. I think it's just 5, 6, and 7, or just 6.
It depends on domestic trophies and
right.
It's not settled yet.
I think it's hilarious if they don't, because it's then for real the worst title defense ever, because I think even Chelsea and United made it back into Europa, and this would be okay. So your players are pissed off at the manager. You didn't even make it into Europe. You either have a bunch of money or have no money. No one's really sure. But you can't get anybody to come in. The players you do get to come in, what have they done recently? Half your players are coming off being snapped in half. Please, just please let that happen.
This is the real answer. Send them away for conference. I don't know if that happens this season.
That's the postman. It's called the postman.
Yeah,
true.
But I will also say the one thing that's nice about if they do end up in Europa League is that is a lot of Thursday night matches for a squad that is not deep. And we'll have a lot of center backs coming off of very serious knee injuries.
Liverpool traveling.
They've been off all the trophies they don't want.
Liverpool traveling to Romania twice in September does sound sick.
Yeah.
You got City on the weekend, and then you've got insert Romanian team here.
Or Bucharest, style Bucharest.
That'll work. That's one. There we go. Now we're talking. Yeah. Give them somebody in give them Red Star Belgrade,
Slavia Prague.
Yeah, so fans will be back in. So
put some respect on Red Star Belgrade's name.
Send them there where they're popping flares off as the bus is coming in.
Okay, I think that then leads us to Player of the Year. So first,
this one's tough.
Do you think someone who has crazy numbers, but also a lot of underwhelming performances within those crazy numbers, like Bruno Fernandes, A, deserves it, B, gets it?
Deserves it, no. Gets it, yes.
Yeah, that's the correct answer because of who he plays for. Because if he played for Aston Villa, because there is a guy at Aston Villa that is wanted by everybody and has pretty much set the league on fire.
Matty Cash is very good.
Ollie Watkins.
Told you, dude. Matty Cash does rule. Shout out the championship for putting good players in the league.
Hashtag get stuck in.
Boom. Yeah, I just if he didn't play for United, I don't think anyone would care. Maybe if he was at Wolves, they'd be like, "Ooh, they got another one." And it would just be more shady dealings where half the Portuguese national team ends up at Wolves. But
I did make the prediction on our last other guys. I said if City wins the title, but Villa makes Europe, Jack Grealish is nailed on for Player of the Year because they can just be like, He took Villa from almost relegation to Europe. Like,
True.
how can we not give it to him? And then it turns out that
and right now
he's too important to them making Europe, and so him not being in it means they probably won't make Europe.
Well, and then if you want it, John Terry could show up in a kit and take it from him and act like he's the one that won it, which would be nice.
When you guys think about who deserves it the most, that question, do you think about it in terms of like most valuable player or just best player, or is there another criteria that you look at?
I always view it as if you take that player out of their team, who has the biggest loss to their team? And I do think it's Bruno Fernandes.
That sounds like most valuable player.
Yeah, I think that's the proper title. Like United, anytime. Go ahead, Mo.
Could I make the case that if that's true, then it's not Bruno, then it's Ruben Diaz?
Yeah.
Because you think about how hyped everybody got with Virgil van Dijk's impact on Liverpool, right? And it's absolutely true. And I'm not denying Bruno's impact on Man United. Somehow, I don't get it because I've watched him so many times and been underwhelmed by him. But he has had a transformational effect on United. But I don't think it's to the same level that Virgil had at Liverpool or Ruben Diaz is having at City. So if we're looking at it most valuable player, and, City are the outstanding team, this season in the Premier League, I think it has to be Ruben Diaz.
Totally fair.
So I've always, I remember when I made the mistake of listening to Alexi Lawless's, he had a video that was on Twitter or YouTube or something that I saw about, I think it was 18, no, it must have been 17, 18 because KDB was injured 18, 19. And it was when it was a debate between Mo Salah and KDB. And that whole time I was like, I don't think there's necessarily a wrong choice. It just depends on how you value the award. And he was saying his reasoning for why Salah gets it is that he thinks the most important thing in soccer are goals. So he was like, Salah has the most goals. There you go. I've always said, player of the year, it doesn't say most valuable player. Like that, to me, that's a different award. Right. It should be a player who defines the season or is someone who that season revolves around that player, which is to me why 17-18 is all about KDB because the storylines are there. Which is for me why this season it has to be Ruben Diaz. He's to do what City have done this season. When we saw what we looked like without him at the beginning of the season, we saw what we looked like without a competent center back to pair with anybody last season. I just don't know how you can look at what City has done in the COVID season and not say this guy transformed an entire team.
Yeah. All that said, I've got Gundogan.
Okay, so I actually don't think that's crazy.
But
make the case
that's why I don't think it.
What's that?
I think that's why. lights flicker in the background.
Yeah. Oh, that's what I should have done.
That is horrifying music. Let's just all be clear. That sound effect is terrifying out of context.
Go on, make the case, Joey.
So we've talked a lot about Aguero leaving and everything, but we haven't had a striker in this team for most of the season. Really, a guy that goes up there and scores goals and stuff. And Gundogan stepped into the role of David Silva, which arguably best player that's ever pulled on a City shirt ever. Not only filled the shoes, but has done things in terms of goal scoring that David Silva never could have, just because it's a different type of player and he's taking up different types of positions. And I understand a lot of that comes from the freedom he gets because there's competent back line and all that kind of stuff. But the fact that Gundogan has in the Premier League, I think Gundogan has 1 or 2 less goals than Son, I think says a ton about what he's been able to do. Throw in, stuff that he's done in Europe and all that. But City aren't successful this season without those two. So I think it's a 1 1/8 situation. I give it to Gundogan just because if the most important thing in the league in the world is goals, he's doing all of them for us from a midfield position where he shouldn't be doing that from. And that's pretty sick.
I can see it.
Now, all that said, he won't get it. It'll go to somebody from United or Liverpool or something like that because that's how it goes. Like, really, if you look at the things, it should be like City Player of the Year, Newcomer of the Year. That one goes to a City guy. Young Player of the Year, that's us. Defender of the Year, that's us. Manager of the Year.
Okay, crazy argument though. Could you not argue that Virgil van Dijk deserves Player of the Year because him getting injured completely derailed?
You mean Jordan Pickford?
Yeah,
for real. Golly.
Wait, can City award their like when they do the fan Player of the Year? Can we vote for Jordan Pickford?
I'm sure there's write-ins.
The season's not over. Karma, people.
He needs
Karma.
You think Jordan Pickford's going to score a hat trick?
The least we can do is write a song for him.
Oh,
true, indeed.
This
Joseph?
is interesting that I did not know.
Of course he is. He's so
Can't be though. Can't.
yeah.
I will say that
Is he-
that the fact that someone can be like, oh yeah, I've played professional football for like 5 seasons and I'm still a young Player of the Year. Like, I'm pretty sure Jesse Lingard still might be eligible after playing for a decade. Like, can we just make young Player of the Year? It should be like you have to be under 21. Like
First two seasons in the league or something like that.
That would make sense. 25 now, I think?
I mean, Raheem won it last year, 2 years ago?
Yeah, and he's been a pro since he was, I don't know,
Like 12,
11?
18.
Yeah.
With 500 caps, the young Player of the Year.
Yeah, I think it's got to go.
So as we wrap
has to go to a
up,
City player, but it won't.
yeah, as we wrap up this discussion, just some odds for you. So Bruno's negative 125, DS plus 400, Kane plus 500, Gundo plus 800, Grealish plus 1400. And then you got thoughts, Joey?
How is Gundo at 8-1? And Kane, what'd you say? 4-1? 5? Come on. You're the player of the year. You're the Player of the Year, and you might be, along with Liverpool, flying off to the worst places in Europe next year. Like, you're that good?
Yep.
I'm the Player of the Year. You know how good I am? We're going to Slovenia. Here we come.
Luxembourg.
I feel like Kane also, though, like Tottenham stink.
Yeah.
Now we're talking. Now it's a podcast. These guys stink, dude.
No, but I mean,
Hey,
they're
careful, Joe.
they're
The Mourinhoistas are going to come get you, as he calls them, apparently.
They're a 2-man team, though. I think like Gundogan's a part of a team where, like, Cancelo's carried the team for a stretch of games. Foden's carried the team. De Bruyne, like, the fact that De Bruyne is not even in like the top 6 to me is kind of crazy, right?
If only there was
Just on reputation.
Some sort of pattern to Mourinho sides of them only being like 2-player teams. If only someone could have seen this happen.
And then young Player of the Year, we've got Foden at minus 2,000, Saka at plus 900, Mount at plus 1,400, and Trent Alexander-Arnold at plus 4,000, which is atrocious.
What? Didn't they ship 7 against Villa?
Can I use my American accent for a minute? Get his ass out of there.
Yeah.
Right?
Hey, you. How you doing? Keep it moving. Get out.
I will say
over here,
that
leave.
it feels like there's some money to be made there just because the betting houses are not factoring in that Phil Foden plays for Manchester City.
True. They're being stupid and going off of performances and results and statistics and impact.
We all know it's Mason Greenwood. That's clearly the young player.
True. How is Mason Mount that high?
I like Mason. I like both the Masons, to be fair.
Yeah.
Mason
they're
Mount's
both
also
great.
like Chelsea's best player this season.
Yeah.
Oh.
Mason Mount's been good. He's been good.
Mason Mount's fine. He doesn't do anything for me.
So, Manager of the Year. Man, you can tell this agenda was written by a New England fan because it says Pep feels like Bill Belichick should always win it, but because of that, never really does.
If Pep felt like Bill Belichick, Pep would be somewhere crap for a while, and then that team would get stolen in the middle of the night, and then he'd make a deal with Satan and win a bunch of Super Bowls.
Are you a Browns fan?
Don't worry about it. I'm just a big Bill Parcells coaching tree guy.
I will say that the core of Joe's point there, I think, is valid in that I don't know how you could give to anyone but Pep Guardiola, but I don't know that it goes to Pep Guardiola this season.
How do you argue against the 21-game winning streak or whatever that was? That's mad.
As Joey's employers at Talk Sport.
I think we all agree with you on this.
Yeah,
we aren't going to is the thing.
Okay, good.
The issue is there's going to be some guys over that way.
But where are you pointing?
Northeast.
I thought that was a comment section.
No, that's this way for me.
Yeah,
that's over here. I'm thrown off because I'm on the wrong side of the screen here. Don't switch it now though, because I'm getting used to going like that. There's been people in England that are going to say David Moyes or Brendan Rodgers one. That doesn't make any sense.
I will say, if David Moyes gets West Ham into Champions League,
yeah,
I would not be upset if they were like giving.
Can go with that. Also, hilarious.
Yeah,
very funny thing. If David Moyes wins Manager of the Year right after Jurgen Klopp did, very very funny. If you're just looking through like past, say it's like 5 years from now, it's like past managers of the season. It's like blah 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 blah. David Moyes, Jurgen Klopp, Pep Guardiola. Very much confusion.
I will say this is the first club that has given him more than one like half a season to do his job. So
Andrew's also a David Moyes stan, I think. So
I think he got as we've seen from what has happened to United
right now.
As what has happened to United post Ferguson,
I
don't think Moyes was crap. United was crap.
Go on.
I think Moyes can be a mid-table manager and do really well.
He's got good DNA.
The chosen one.
The chosen one, indeed.
Yeah.
So Joey, you're not buying Brendan Rodgers?
No, he believes in himself too much, and it bugs me. I don't trust anyone. I don't trust anybody that has the portrait of yourself on your. Get out of here! Imagine having a painting of yourself and being like, "Hell yeah, that's what's up." You bring people in your home and you're like, "Welcome." Obviously, I've done well for myself.
I might have to do some redecorating.
Yeah. Well, Mulv just so let's see. We're right. If Mulv's wall continued right about here.
Yeah.
Is a giant oil painting of Mulv.
Oil painting, yes.
It's
based off the Costanza painting though.
Yeah.
On the bench.
It's actually the finger of God thing. It's Mulv and his son.
Oh boy! If one of us was, if somebody's really good at Photoshop out there, please.
That's too close.
Tag John in the comments.
Yeah. Okay, so surprise of the season. This is like good surprise. So throw some out there for you: West Ham, Everton / Villa, Patrick Bamford, Gundogan,
John Stones.
John Stones. Definitely.
So these are the good surprises, right?
Yeah, good surprise.
Yeah. Disappointments after this one, yeah.
Johnny cancels.
Mm-hmm.
Johnny cancels.
Well,
dude.
John Stones has got to be one of the top stories of the season.
I think
we're really doing a good job with this other guy's podcast.
Stones and Villa, I think, make a lot of sense. Hey, it's not our fault.
When you're good, you're good. You know.
Hey,
facts.
Villa
City Rocks is the thing.
Villa's it for me because they stay up because goal line technology fails for the first time in a decade.
True. It has never failed before.
And then they buy some players that people are like, yeah, those are like quality championship players. Like Ollie Watkins, like that's a solid pickup. Matty Cash, solid pickup.
Boss. Yeah.
And then just they're out there. I mean, they beat Liverpool 7-2.
So good. What was the score?
7-2.
Say it slow.
7-2.
Now we're talking.
There you go. The other thing
they had loads of injuries, right? Liverpool. So
yeah.
Doesn't count.
They weren't playing.
Wasn't
they weren't playing good players in that game.
Yeah, Gomez and Virgil van Dijk didn't play that match.
They weren't playing for real.
Yeah.
Is the thing.
England's golden
this
boy.
is for real?
Yeah, they would if that was video games, they would have hit pause at halftime and be like, "I'm playing for real now," and then unpaused.
And then they still got their dicks.
Rage quit.
Rip the PlayStation off the wall.
The other thing to me that's why I have Villa as my biggest surprise, the fact that they stuck with Dean Smith when a lot of idiot pundits were calling for his head at the end of last season. They're like, no, he got us here. We're gonna let him have a chance, keeps him up, and then has done what he's done this season. I think that I've thoroughly enjoyed Villa this season.
I'm 99% sure I picked West Ham to be relegated this season. 99% sure.
I'm so glad I wasn't on our preview of the season.
They were
podcast.
really bad last season. Just to clarify, they were really bad last season and didn't really do much to get better. It wasn't an irrational pick.
I picked him to finish 4th one season when Pellegrini was there.
Yeah, he sure did.
I think I may have been on that podcast.
The gentleman.
Mo's a big Dimitri Payet guy, apparently.
Oh, yeah.
What's he doing these days?
He recently had a birthday. Still fat. Still playing, though.
Oh, that guy. Okay, sorry.
You were thinking Gus Poyet. Oh.
I was thinking me.
Mark. We would never say that on a show.
Never.
We'll text each other.
Slack channel.
True.
Channel.
Yeah. Slack channel is where you go for body shaming for these two. Go on now.
I will say there is one thing that Joe Ricci, apparently closet Liverpool fan, because he put their title defense as a disappointment of the season. To me, that's the surprise of the season, everybody.
Yeah, I mean, I hate Liverpool with everything in me. I just think it was surprising. I put it in as Loserpool's title defense. So do not put me in the closet fan of Liverpool.
Liverpool, Loserpool, Lolverpool.
Do you think Loserpool is to Liverpool fans what Man Shitty is to Man City?
Yes.
Has to be. Yeah.
Just lowest hanging fruit. You're just like,
got him.
Triggered. It's not even funny. You're stupid. You're all stupid.
Liverpool.
Yeah, Liverpool. They don't like that. Liverpool.
You just dropped the L at the end.
Manchester Cheaty.
Smart. Yeah.
Yeah.
Manchester Cheaty.
Wait, like the guy from The Good Place? Cheaty? No?
Not seen it. Wife watches it. Not seen it.
It's quality. Netflix
Chick
and
show.
I think Hulu. But so
I can't wait till Joe makes us some Manchester Ziti.
That's worth
food coloring, blue food coloring.
No, it's gonna
my ancestors are rolling in their grave.
Guerrero's face sculpted out of his baked CD.
It's worse than the Abu Dhabi.
True.
Okay, so the other disappointments that Joe wrote up for us. So Liverpool just falling apart. Brighton XG winners, table losers. Chelsea under Lampard and the money that they spent not really turning out well. And then Wolves just collapsing, kind of akin to Liverpool, I would actually say.
I think the Wolves thing is almost not funnier, as funny. Almost as funny as the Liverpool thing. Because it did become everyone's second favorite team, which is pretty funny. And then when you went in depth to anyone that was like, "Oh, I like Wolves," and explained to them what actually is going on, they're like, "That seems
highly suspect."
That seems. I thought there was like a rule about how you could buy players or something, and then they just fall apart. It's like, oh no, oh god, it's all gone wrong. They sold 2 guys, and it's all gone to shit. No one knows what to do. Nuno seems lost. He's almost Mourinho 2.0. It's not good.
I will say the fact that they rival Sheffield for the worst transfer by buying a 20-year-old kid that in no world is worth the amount of money they paid for him. Like Ryan Brewster, and then whatever the Portuguese kid that Wolves bought. Silva, yeah.
Silva?
Yeah.
He's
gonna be
the curly-haired fella?
Yeah. He could be good in a couple of years, but you don't sell Diego Jota and then spend all that money on a kid who's not ready to be Diego Jota for you.
You do if the guy that's the agent of both of those players and maybe kind of sort of runs your club says you do.
Fair.
Also, this is all
Allegedly.
above board.
Allegedly.
All above. None of it's bad.
Allegedly.
All safe to do.
Allegedly.
Definitely not. There's no. You couldn't tap anyone up that way.
It's not dodgy, is it?
Couldn't be.
Allegedly.
No.
It's all good. It's weirder to not do business like that. Actually.
Yeah, they're like, why doesn't everybody just have a super agent who owns part of your club and like can bring in players?
It seems fine.
It's working pretty well.
They're
They're up, right? They're in the league.
Look at Girona. Girona's part owned by Guardiola's brother, who's bringing in all these great players that are making Girona this like powerhouse of La Liga.
Even though they're not in the league.
That's the joke.
Oh,
I feel like
no.
we're missing a big opportunity to shit some more on Liverpool here.
Yeah.
Yeah. So how much?
I just remember the
Naby Keita.
the big talk about them being one of the best ever Premier League sides, if not the best that the world has ever seen, and what have you. And just to see it all come crashing down in one season.
Well,
That was a long time ago. People got hurt.
I just need to put this up here because this is amazing.
Yeah,
that's incredible.
it's a good one.
Well,
I
they
get
won.
very mad at that.
Well, because they won the Champions League and they won the Premier League, but they ran out of money.
But the
They
shame,
couldn't pay those
the
people.
shame in
No, they
imposing
Mo, clearly they didn't have any money. All they had done was won the Premier League and the Champions League in back-to-back years. There was no money. You don't get any
and
money.
But they took
They're so poor that
pictures.
they've had to run their entire club off of the Coutinho money for 4 years.
They took pictures of those trophies together like they happened in the same season.
Yeah.
The sex
I don't-
topic,
The
Shameless.
what?
Shameless.
right? Isn't that what they call it? Six in a season or something?
They better not.
The World Cup.
Yeah.
The Club World Cup is the funniest
the
one.
European
It's the dumbest
treble
thing ever.
or something.
Yeah, the
Bollocks.
European treble was what they called it.
Rubbish. Absolutely rubbish. So yeah.
Did
More
they ever
time
get
we
did they ever get a bus parade?
No.
No, they're driving that bus to Manchester as we speak.
True. Well, it's a delivery service. It's basically DoorDash.
We'll see.
Except they ran out of money, so it's just dudes on bikes. They just have a
See, the
basket.
problem is
There's a
they have
basket in the
a bus.
front, a little bell.
They had a bus for it, but they inadvertently someone thought it was a Manchester City bus, and so people just wandered out of their houses, pubs, trash cans, and just started throwing
That's-
bottles.
That was the moment, Andrew. I couldn't have given a shit about Liverpool before that moment.
Yep,
But that's what kicked it all off.
Mm-hmm.
And they clubs like big clubs like Liverpool and Manchester United and their fans claim they don't give a shit about City. They don't care about City, right? One of those clubs famously had a banner hung in their stadium reminding us all how long it had been since we'd won our last trophy.
Yeah, they didn't update it year on year.
I mean, they didn't care about us though.
True.
Right. And the other one famously threw bottles and just destroyed our bus in the build up to a Champions League game. But again, don't care about us.
Well, they would do it to anybody.
Yeah.
They would
When
totally
Joey
do that
talks about Thursday night games, though, like they're going to get a rude awakening on what flares look like and attacking buses. Like they're going to be in like a war zone. I'm like,
who's the they're going to Detroit? I don't know. It was across the so who's the champions of Slovakia? That's who I want. I think I've decided
Let's see.
of the slow countries like Slovakia and Slovenia. I think Slovakia sounds scarier, so they can go there. And also, is Kazakhstan considered Asia or Europe? Also,
I think
Uzbekistan.
So the team you were looking for is Slavan Bratislava.
See, this is what I'm talking about. This is what I'm talking about. I want to see. I want to see Jordan Henderson getting off a bus against Slavan Bratislava and having to like hold the hands.
Sounds like a future CFG signing.
Yeah, for real. I want to see him holding the hands of those children that they've been playing, and that what was it? The geography teacher that's been playing center back for them. Like
Yeah.
I want to see.
Matt
I want to
Phillips.
see him. Yeah, sure, whatever. They've got multiple dudes that are just the same guy in my brain. Like I see a name and I'm like, I don't know, dark hair, curly.
I will say the other
says he
thing
plays
too,
defense.
to multiple all these clubs and fan bases that say that like they don't care about City, and so like oh, sure, you might get enjoyment out of us failing, but like, we just don't even care. Like when you struggle, bitch, you guys wrote to a court to try to get us thrown out of Europe when we hadn't even said we want to stop the, like, they were like, we don't want City to delay this to cause, European places to not be settled. And we were like, good, we don't either. Like that. Cool. Thanks, guys.
Also us too. Next.
We're like, yeah, we don't want to delay it because we're planning on winning this case and being in Europe and making all of you cry.
Oh, do you know how mad they're going to be now? Like, so like we'll be going into a normal-ish season next season, and we have a like summer for real, and we're allowed to spend money now. Oh no!
And have money to spend
so much.
Quick, change the rules.
Yeah, for real. No one's allowed to buy. Everyone.
No,
you have to like retweet some like burner account of like a UEFA president that he only gives out to his friends that run like PSG, United, Juventus. So go retweet that, and then I'll know that you're a real one, and we can let you purchase players. Show me your loyalty via Twitter.
All right. Well, so this has been, it was a little sour to begin with, but it's been enlightening. It's been delightful. It's been joyous. Mulv, Joey, thanks for coming on. Do you guys want to plug who you are, where that you can be found, the things you do?
No one needs to know about that. Yeah, I guess so. At NoisyPod on Twitter, noisypod.com, Noise Neighbors Podcast, and all the YouTube things, and Facebook and podcast places. What's that one? What's the? It's an alleged like podcast app or service or something.
Yeah, you're thinking of
it's absolute dog shit.
Podbean?
That's not there. Don't go there. Everywhere else though, go find us. Hit us up on Twitter. I don't know. That's it.
All right, thank you. And as always, you can find us across all social channels at Main Road Ramble. You can find us on our website, mainroadramble.com. This will stay up on YouTube.
Hell yeah.
Theoretically, it stays up, I guess, on our Twitter if you want to scroll back on our Twitter feed and find it. And it'll be out in the podcast apps shortly. And with that, I say bye-bye.
Peace.